Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2 with the new world champion, the Frenchman from Team Liquid in the red, it's Clem. But once again with his work cut out for him, we have in the blue, the underling, it's Shin. A best of 3 Terran versus Zerg, where we'll see whether Shin can get out from under the steamroller that seems to be Clem lately, or if Clem will end up just tearing through him like everyone else. But either way, before we get started, it'd be awesome if you could help me appease the great gods of the algorithm who rule us all. And smash that like button. And maybe even subscribe. And Jimmy, what are we? 1,425 likes on this video, on this cast. And I'll cast another one. And I'll probably do it anyways. I don't know what else I'd do with my life. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. And hopefully it's about to get a little bit better than these early drones and lings as Clem's Reapers are making Shin's base his own. And Shin is already tired of this, but more Reapers coming in. Behind it, already a second command center. It's just a 3 per pressure to start as Beyond handed off the baton of potential Reaper nerfs to Clem, and he's been sprinting with it ever since. Going for the Queens, dodges out of the way. The Queen's not the most agile creatures, but on creep, they're able to evade the grenades, and actually bounces his own Reaper back. So far, not too much damage, but the intent is not to get damage done with these early Reapers, but instead create so much space and create an uncomfortable situation for the Zerg. You delay their 3rd hatchery, you usually are able to delay some of the creep spread, and, of course, when you wall off with multiple barracks, you've already got this set up at home. So there's already a 3rd command center on the way before the 3rd hatchery. That's so many Zerglings as well. Bounces a Queen to the back. Might even be able to delay the hatchery. One of the Reapers a little distracted there. Typical construction group project, but the Zerglings have speed, but Clem escapes off the employee exit there for the Reapers, which essentially just takes side quest paths on maps that are explicitly designed for them, which is quite convenient. The Reapers able to escape, and so far Clem batting 1,000, hasn't lost a single unit. Now, of course, Shin has only lost 2 Zerglings, so it's a bit dramatic to say it that way, but Roach Warren's on the way, 2 more gases, and Shin seems intent on matching Clem's level of pressure. Even a barracks in the sky, and Clem does not have a tech lab on that barracks. I don't know if he's trying to hide it. Slaps the tech lab down now. Hellions and Banshees on the way. A strategy that has been a staple of Terran versus Zerg for over half of Clem's lifetime. 2010, the Destiny Cloud Fist build with the 1/1/1. Hellions and Cloaked Banshees. The early opener with Queens throwing their knitting needles out with significantly less range to defend. And still to this day, higher economy, more micro, but the same principles apply. Keeping control of the creep, constantly and actively scouting, because there's no better way to scout than poking your opponent's face with a flamethrower. And speaking of the Zerglings, that is a wall off, though it looks a little bit awkward. A couple Hellions may get caught. Now able to evade the clutches of those Zerglings. And there's some Roaches behind, but very key here is that Shin, his economy is very limited. Only now going over 50 drones. He's finishing up a lair. Does he have the Evo chambers? No. So engineering bay is now starting for Clem. He is going bio behind this. Scan spots a relatively quick lair. We'll see if he looks for any sort of Nidus place. It's not a Nidus, but he can't know that for sure. Banshee coming in, poking and prodding. So far, oh my, wow. Not only does he scout for the Nidus, but he's already moved his reinforcing Marines. Meanwhile, incinerating a few of the drones. The Banshee getting a little too deep here, and the Queen's looking to chase it down. A second Banshee comes up, and then one of those can be sent back to repair, and he just runs right by. He still has a couple potential grenades on the Reapers. Takes a sampling of the drones at the natural and heads right into the main. Lines up some more. 6 drones so far. Tried to block with an Evo chamber, but Clem sniped it off before it could pull it off. Not really focusing any of the drones, but continuing to rack up the... No, Shin! Okay, he killed enough Hellions before lining him up. The firing line, if you would. But 14 kills scattered throughout. Shin plummets to a 7-worker lead. But the amount of larva, how many drones in total? 15 drones, all in the last minute. Banshee being repaired. And with those Banshees and a lack of Anitis, despite Clem's suspicions, there's not going to be any real way for Shin to attack directly. The Banshees will just chew too much into the roaches, and even any queens that try to come across if they're off the creep. And the creep is nearly non-existent. Shin's been able to spread it just a little bit outside of a kind of his alternative attack route. But outside of his third, he's just now laying down his first creep tumors. I'm not sure if the first ones got sniped off or cauterized by the first aliens, but either way, the results are the same. And here comes Clem. He's got Marines, no upgrades, not even combat shield, 1-1 finishing, but he's keeping the pressure on, and the Banshee's headed towards the south. The 6 o'clock position is totally vulnerable. One queen is coming down, but has to struggle off of creep, and is more like a target. The queens.
Brenda, I told you to start the creep spread. It's not my fault. How is this our problem? All right, the Terrans just have map hacks built into their buildings. How is that fair?
I don't... Sorry, I blacked out for a moment. Hive is on the way for shit. So, speeding to that Hive tech. Clearly not for adrenal glands. This is Shin we're talking about. It'll be a cold day full of Hellions where Shin actually gets adrenal glands right off the bat. But Vipers as well. Well, Vipers and maybe Ultras? Likely just Vipers is the choice, as he doesn't have a Hydra down on the way. The Banshee's still racking up more drone damage, but
get off my creep!
Brenda, he got like 16 kills before dying, and he won't get any more! Okay, that's enough. Another Banshee almost taken down. And Shin able to match the army supply and some changelings in the pipe 5x5, right, boys? Wait, why don't these guys have combat shield? Go get your shields. Those changelings actually a huge deal for Shin, giving him the little bit of extra warning he desperately needs to set up some sort of defense. But no baneling speed is going to make life very difficult. The Marines may decide to target the base. Banelings easily pop before that speed upgrade is done. A few more coming through. Corrosive Bile is a threat. Zerglings from the south side. Takes out one of the tanks. 2 more Banelings closing in. Easily targeted. And 4 siege tanks. 3 now on the back line. The Marines holding their ground, and the tanks are leapfrogging forward, but there isn't so much bio that Shin isn't capable of overrunning them. But with the lack of Banelings at all, no creep spread, parts the Red Sea there with the corrosive biles. And the Marines just keep grinding through. Though some Zerglings are slipping in, drawn tank fire. And this army is so spread out, it's thin. And it's able to be stretched apart as Shin is clearing up the siege tanks. And Clem biting off a little more than he could chew. He's got a 4th base already done, but Shin's going to have that gold, and they're the Vipers. But no adrenal glands, of course. Shin would be like a 10% higher win rate Zerg if he knew what the adrenal glands upgrade was. 40% attack speed on your Zerglings is really good, even if they don't get to attack very often, especially against Clem. Ultraless Caverns on the way, but Shin's got the gold base. Clem has the 2-2 upgrades though, so that gives him a lot of opportunity in turn. Ultraless, Vipers, +2 Carapace about to complete, +1 melee. I really don't know why he doesn't get it. Like, he usually has the buddy, not right this moment, but it is boggling to my mind. When many Zergs, the moment Hive finishes, it's top priority. I swear, this is some... scientists need to study this. Like, why he's getting chitinous plating but no adrenal glands. Like, well, I'm only building a few dozen Zerg. Even then! Well. Ultra's on the way. Clem is not maxed out. Shin is. But Ghosts in production, and Clem will have the 3-3 upgrade sooner rather than later. He's working on it now. And the drops are out on the map, which means there's no dedicated anti-air, just targeting down drones. 7 drones dead. And Clem is anchoring this Zerg army back. An Albatross around his neck, and he can't get anything going. This is the closest to a counterattack we've seen, and it was really just the Zerglings kind of hanging around the base that Clem was eventually expanding to, but it'll be cleaned up immediately by the reinforcements. Clem's supply is still not maxed, though. He's got a lot sent out on the map. 3 full energy Vipers. And still no Adrenal. Okay. Okay. Just assume. It's not gonna happen. The siege line. Oh my. He set it up so well. He so smoothly transitioned from the, like, back and forth mid-game to this turtly late game. But the Banelings roll through 2 command centers and looking for a third. As the Ultras, he loads up into the command center, which actually saves some of the SCVs as quite an airbag for him as the Banelings crash in. He managed to save a few extra SCVs with it, but does end up losing effectively 3 command centers to the Banelings and the Ultralists. A hatchery finishes, but it's almost dead on arrival. A single Ultra leading the charge. Clem finds the target fire. Ultra speed about to complete. +2, +3 upgrades in production for Shin, but Clem is going to be maxed out on those bio upgrades first. One of the ghosts gets picked off. A strong start, but there's more where that came from. Snipes off a Ravager or 2. And now Spire is on the way. 3-3 completing for Clem. He's going to be at maximum strength Terran and starting to bank up money if Shin doesn't turn the tide soon. His hatchery's mining from it like he's going to be able to keep it, and so far looking good. Blinding Cloud on point, negates all of the siege tanks, but the snipes come out and knock out one of the Vipers, cleave through several of the Ultras, and Clem turns the tables immediately, flips them onto Shin's face, and down goes the hatchery. No Vipers, no Ultras, but he's looking to change that. 74 Zerglings with no adrenal glands in production. 6 more Ultralisks. The thing is, Clem is tailoring his unit composition more and more. The ultimate seamstress he is. This unit composition is about as anti-ultra as you could ever get. He's getting siege tanks, liberators, he has plenty of ghosts. The medevac count is already so high, it's actually concerning. 9 medevacs is about the max you want at this stage of the game, because you want your army supply to be in as strong... Well, here's a professional tip. Medevacs do not shoot. Maybe next patch we can shoot out the windows or something. But Gumiho understands. The one thing we're missing here from Clem is a fusion core for advanced ballistics and Caduceus reactor. And I'd argue Caduceus reactor is even better. That medevac energy regen pops another planetary. Shin, still with a decent economy. He has the gold and he has that southern base. So it's not over yet for him. But when you're trading blows with a Terran who is building up the ghost count, and your late game army is Ultras are timing you. They're a battering ram. They get you in the door, and if you don't break everything down behind it, well, it's only going to be harder the next time. It takes out an Ultra, snipes off a Queen. And now more Ultras coming down, but the Liberator's almost unchallenged. The tanks eating some of the aggro from the Ultras, allowing the Ghost to line up their shots. Corrosive Biles perfectly splits his damage, not to kill either of the Liberators, and it's all coming apart. He backs off with the Ghosts in order to snipe off the Ultras. The details come together, and Shin falls apart. I stand by. There should be studies done about why Shin is unable to research adrenal glands. I don't know. Would it have made the difference? It certainly wouldn't have hurt. At least Shin. But again, Clem is able to so smoothly transition to that late game composition from the mid game, from the M&M and M&M, and then finding his way to ghosts and liberators and siege tanks. Oh my. It's just M&M. In fact, he didn't build any mines that game. Important to point out. Jimmy. Game 2, though. All right, nobody wants to see me sit there and do the post-game show, and we have another game that we could see. And if it ain't broke, well, Clem with the Reaper dens, or the 2 racks opener, though he is on the vulnerable side of the map, which is the left side. The right side is the right side for keeping those add-ons better protected against any early aggression. But you do also have a ramp leading up to the high ground, which is not a lot, but it's better than nothing. And that means it's easier to lock this down against early aggression. And we'll see what Shin comes up with. I think he did, despite taking so much damage, he just absorbed it and overcame it. But wasn't able to capitalize on any of his real, if there were timings there, like with the Vipers, with the Quick Hive. Clem just made it look impossible. At no point did anything but an all-out Baneling-centric attack. Thing about using Banelings to kill planetaries, it looks all well and good, but it takes way more than the cost of a planetary in Banelings to kill it. So if you spend like a third of your army value to smash a base, and then he just floats another command center over and you're not able to capitalize on that situation, it's supposed to open up an economic opportunity. So that way you can use your superior Zerg economy to flood the field before they're able to rebuild that base or get the benefit from it. But if you just hit them, expend all your units, and then don't follow it up, you've essentially wasted most of that army value. Alright, so this time around, it's a much earlier Baneling bust. Not a kill your 4th base situation, but a kill your 1st base situation. As Clem is going for a double command center fight. Clem is doing the same greedy, bare bones defense Terran that he did last game. The Queens.
This is the Hatchery Owners Association, and respectfully, could you get up pregnant? No!
Clem kills a queen. Gonna take out the Overlord, which in most cases would be a perfectly fine thing to do, but there is a dangerous moment here. Moments, maybe. Where, well, there's gonna be maybe 2 Hellions. This is all in. Alright, there is no follow-up to this for Shin if he doesn't do critical damage. There is no, he has 20 drones back at home. Surprise! Baneling's on the way. Retreats inside. He's gonna raise the depot, but that's not enough. Down goes the reactor. And now Clem is supply blocked even during this. The Hellions will try to retreat, but actually the SCVs are kind of getting in the way of things. The Reaper Micro is good. One gets surrounded and killed. 4 SCVs dead. Trying to wall off on the high ground here is Clem. More Banelings morphing as part of the wall. No, the SCVs come down, but not exactly the fight they want to be taking. The Zerglings keep trickling in. The SCVs try to decide what to do. But Clem is out of units. He's got a Banshee halfway done, but he's got 15 SCVs lost, and it's not going to end there. Shin just busting down the door. And Clem can't believe this Shin right here. Oh no. It's a disaster for the Frenchman. You can, with 3 orbital commands, you can recover from almost anything. But even for the world champion, it appears Shin has done what Cyril couldn't, which is win a singular game against Clem in Terran versus Zerg. Now, this is an odd angle, but I think appropriate for how weird this situation is. He is mineral stacking his SCVs, and they're actually doing a pretty good job here. But here come the Babes. Don't let them touch you. He's doing such a great job of actually. There's just no. Clem, even with 0 SCVs, there's a dream. He drops a mule, mineral stacks it with the rest. Can you repair mules? It's a little embarrassing I don't know that. I would imagine you can. Clem is at 1 SCV. He's like, you know, I don't know. Mules are pretty good. They're not that good. They're not quite that good, Clem. Though, if anyone could do it. Not this time. All right. Shin goes back to the spawning pool and says, "This is all I need." Well, also a baneling nest, but that's like an advanced spawning pool, so. Well, he bleeds. He melts to corrosive acid, if not corrosive bile. Clem proves that he's not invulnerable to attack, though it took the most all-in possible timing in the best-case scenario, but still. There is no build that can defend... Well, you can't just do the same ridiculously greedy economical build every single game without potentially being punished. So what do you do? If you're a Terran in that scenario, well, besides you just scouting the Bane nest outright, here's what you do. You build a bunker. You don't know if something's coming, you build a bunker. Now, I know that sounds like such a massive economic hit that it isn't worth it, but 100 minerals of prevention is worth 400 minerals of economic recovery, as the saying goes. So, I think Swan said that at some point in the campaign. Gotta spend money to make money, cowboy. Something like that. But, we're on Amphion. And I'm sure Clem will be much more focused on making sure Shin is on the straight and narrow. And not evading anything down the center of the map by slipping his Zerglings by. The lack of a third base is already a bit of a giveaway. I think Clem just overestimated how well he could hold. Not by much. He still held on. I do love that. For a few moments, he's like, I don't know. 3 CCs is pretty good. And those mules. Mules are worth about 5 SCVs of mining. And now the key part is they don't, as you can see there, they just like reach their arms over the top of the SCVs. They have their own sort of mining logic that is unaffected. Like, if you had 5 more SCVs mining as opposed to a mule, you would not get 5 more SCVs of income on this mineral line, because once you go over 16, it becomes less and less efficient up to 24. But the mule, okay, we get real pedantic about it. So what he did there is when you put a mule on the close patch, it mines quicker because it's on the close patch. So, but the problem is when you put a mule on the close patch, that last trip, it will die right before returning it to the command center. Now, why don't you just put it on the far patch? Well, the one on the far patch doesn't get another trip either, but the one on the close patch will mine slightly quicker. It's just you run the risk of wasting that last bit of minerals as the mule lives. So what I'm trying to say is do not try this at home. Do not worry about the 25 or so. I forget if it's 25 or 30 nowadays, but minerals that you're grabbing with that mule. It's just that literal last trip is the difference between a close and a far patch is the far patch, you just don't really end up mining it at all. Whereas the close patch, you mine it, but die before you come back. And that's the difference in the amount of time going back and forth. Let's see if he does it again. I don't know if it finished mining that bit or not, but either way. There you go. Now, you may have noticed that in the past, players doing that, and that's why. It's one of those things like doing the probe micro on the mineral patch that is mostly something to keep you busy while you're ramping up to your 500 or 600 APM. Another queen is sniped off. Well, that Frenchman assassinating queens. At this point, not as revolutionary an idea, but while we can still make that joke, I'm still going to keep begging for likes and subscribes and the Zerglings. Looking for the surround on the Reapers, and so far they get one. Which, and the queens are still getting chased down. Another bounce, might be able to pick it off, but doesn't want to risk losing one of those Reapers. And, well, Clem pretty confident now that there's no aggression coming across, obviously, as he saw the third base timing. That's usually the giveaway. A whole bunch of... He's still building Hellions. Just gonna keep the pressure on. A Baneling nest is on the way, maybe considering a hell bad timing. With the Hellions working in. Zerglings, Banshee headed towards the natural. Uncontested, the Queen's completely out of position. Oh no! Well, spore kills. Banshees don't kill things that quick. But the positioning on the Spore Crawlers is a bit odd here. In fact, well, the fact he doesn't have a Spore Crawler at this base is certainly not great either. More Banshees on the way. That's 8 kills, and the drones are forced to come back home. Maybe he thought it was a Liberator build or something like that. That's why he put the spores on the edge as opposed to in the middle of the mineral line. 11 he's just killing drones. Like, there's just no detection here. Did he not see the Cloaked Banshees on the way? Well, Clem had the starport at the front. Oh, no! The Hellions come in. 15 kills, but the Banshees. Why is the Spore here? Shin! No! It's a disaster! Does he even have a lair? No! The Spore Crawler keeps moving to exactly the wrong spot at all times. 21 drones killed. Shin still has a lead, but Clem, oh, the Queens are out of position! And now, incinerating even more drones. 27, 28. It's an utter disaster. He may never financially recover from this. 29 drones slaughtered. And it's not like Clem was sitting here microing like he's playing ARAM on League of Legends. No! He has his entire Terran economy and infrastructure up and running. His 1-1 is halfway done. He's got 60 SCVs. His third base is fully saturated. And now he's got medevacs with Stim Marines coming across the map. This was just the sideshow. The macro is the 32 kills. Oh my, that is a GG of drones. This is an absolute disaster. An entire Shin. Mistakes were made. Oh no! Oh, Clem. Clem took serious offense to that last game and had something to prove. And oh my, he did. And that, without any sort of extra ceremony, will lead us into our bonus series. Yes, series. Clem versus Creator. You want more Clem? Well, stay tuned right now. Because Clem also played against one of the top Protoss in Korea. Creator. This is from the WardiTV Monday Cup, by the way, which you help support via my Patreon, which I'm sending part of to Wardy to help support this tournament. No, Wardy's also. The summary is, we all have a stake in this one. And so far, Clem is proving the entertainment value. Yes. Well, you can't afford to make any mistakes. And Shin made almost all of them. So now we head in against Creator. I believe this is the next round of the tournament. Where he goes up against him. But in the bottom right, the world champion, it's Clem. And in the top left, we have the most dramatic Protoss out there, one way or another. It's Creator. And before we get started on series number 2, if you haven't yet, and been annoyed by me begging you for likes and subscribes, well, it'd be awesome if you change your mind on that. Not sure where I was going with that one. But to be honest, it does help out. And it's a pretty good gauge of how many people are paying attention. Here's your pro tip. For those wondering, 1, why we usually start the game like a minute or 2 in. And 2, why I beg you for the likes and subscribes is very simply, not you, my dedicated and amazing and incredible and intelligent and engaged viewer, but many people have a tendency to either tune out immediately or kind of not be interested in watching multiple series or multiple games. So we do everything we can in order to keep people busy and watching. Because 1, these games are incredible. I think we're a little spoiled because there are dozens of games of professional StarCraft 2 that happen every week. So I'm picking from the best, 5 to 10 series out of a couple hundred of the top 0.1% of players. So every game is one of the top, like, 1% of StarCraft 2 games out there. But you gotta make a decision. The cream of the crop. The creme de la creme, if you would. So thank you for watching, as always. Alright, Adept. Or TVP mode, where Clem will build similar but different units off a similar but different build. Instead of going for Reactored Hellions and Banshee, you accomplish a similar goal of keeping the pressure on, this time against the Protoss, by having that early Cyclone and usually a Medevac. So that will keep, well, it essentially negates any sort of Stargate play outright, because the Cyclone and just basic Marines will easily deal with an Oracle. Proxy Void Ray is just way too expensive to be a thing. And Blink Stalkers, well, they're the real threat. But if you just go straight for bio, the Blink Stalkers will just poke and prod and just keep stabbing at you until you get medevacs out. And that takes quite a while. But the Cyclones force a strong response. The Cyclones are very dangerous. Maybe not on their own, but certainly when combined with a medevac and some Marines. So instead of allowing the Protoss to comfortably get all their infrastructure up, get their blink, get their third base, instead Clem's going to be coming across the map and force Creator to build units and try to defend. And it's very likely he will, but the point is, if Creator undercommits, Clem can do a bunch of damage. If he overcommits, Clem can get ahead economically. If he commits just right, well then maybe Creator slightly ahead. We'll see how it goes. But Blink is not done. And that is not enough Stalkers to stop this without Blink. Now, Clem just gonna dodge the shots because the Stalker projectiles are relatively slow. Unfortunately, the Terran bullets are significantly faster. Well, there goes the... Did he not cancel? I think he may have. It's unclear, but either way, Clem just grinds right through the third. Blink is now done. But down goes another Stalker, and a lot of them already badly bruised. Clem, this is not supposed to be a game-ending attack. But with Clem, anything is potentially a game-ending attack. The medevac is pre-boosting to try to save those clones. They'll expect some of us in the wreckage, brothers. And gets to the high ground to try to dodge the Blink Stalkers. There's an observer here. What is up to the north side? A Liberator, waiting for its moment. It was spotted by the Spylon, and Creator has the opportunity to blink in. Maybe he just wants to dodge the hits. He actually loses a Stalker. Clem targets a probe. And now Clem. Does he have a third command center? He does not, but there's no third Nexus either. Oh my god, he was so supply blind because Creator was expecting to have a third Nexus, which counts as like 2 more pylons. And he had a pylon there shut down as well, but Creator has transitioned. It's gonna just be a Blink Stalker all in. Cyclone locks on and takes out the Observer. He sieged it up just to get a little more vision right before it died. Wow, he's building a proxy pylon. So Creator is just going for so many Blink Stalkers that, well, Clem's expecting him to just retake his third and be behind. But instead, this is going to be some sort of base trade. He has a Zealot in the War Prism here. This is gonna get really weird really fast. But recall is on cooldown. Clem is coming back, which is best case scenario for... Oh, and then he goes forward. The timing is perfect here for Creator. He knew he wouldn't be in a good spot if he just fought it out. So he's going for the full-on base trade. And he gets a bit of a jump on Clem, as he clearly wasn't expecting such a massive commitment of the Blink Stalkers. How long on recall? A very long 30 seconds right now. Well, Clem is tearing through the natural. He's chasing down the SCVs. The bases are in flight. And they say never base trade a Terran, but Creator started this off as strongly as you ever could. I'm gonna target down another shield battery. This is the last Nexus. Oh, I take it back. There's another Nexus. But the main base is gone. He's chased the orbitals. And is Clem? Is he just... Well, there should be enough time to recall 5 probes to 4 SCVs. Clem has enough to rebuild a command center potentially on this location. He sieges up the tanks. Is there another? The orbital command is halfway across the map right now. There are 25 stalkers. What an insane base trade. Oh my. The stalkers, did he recall back? No, he just came back home, but the tank's on the high ground now, sieging Creator from inside his own base. Force field. There is a single medevac, but I guess he has vision of the high ground because he still has gateways there for now. Creator is starting to run low on the probes. The orbital command. There's still SCVs in the main. The probes escape. Oh no. Well, Creator's rebuilding a nexus in the top right corner. What is going on? Clem has not rebuilt his base and is being revealed. Though he can build a command center, will Creator spot it? It's pretty clear. Huh. He has a sentry. That's how he can get high ground vision. I think there's still a warp prism somewhere. The probes are headed towards his base. There's still a lot of stalkers here. I think Creator can win this fight. But he also very much could lose it. So far... Oh, he could drop... Yes, he's dropping out the zealots to eat some of the tank shots. Clem retargets, but a little on the late side. The force field is also here, the emotional support field. And he's got it. There's just not enough. GG! Creator wins the base trade. He pulls the trigger on it immediately. And Clem is caught halfway across the map. Again caught off guard by one of these early attacks. But, wow. Beautifully handled by Creator. And that is the sort of gameplay. Like, Creator is the drunken brawler Protoss. Much like Hero, but with even less restrictions. As I'm not even convinced Creator knew what Creator was going to do before we went into that base trade. But he ends up coming out on top. And you could see it. Clem, he came back for like 5 seconds. He's like, no, that's too far. But those 5 seconds may very well have decided the game. Wow. So again, Clem getting caught off guard by an early attack, a different variety, this time early in the series. Now, if the previous series was any sort of indicator, now Clem is going to be coming out swinging with that early aggression. He almost won the game with the Cyclone medevac drop already. Now, I can hear it. When I think about it, I can hear it in my own voice. I'm just assuming Clem wins. Which, he's not invulnerable. Okay, especially when it comes to these kind of cross-server tournaments. These online cups. Like, Clem may have the most valid claim to complain about ping and latency. Now, what they usually do for these online cups, which is no fun to talk about because there's no real good solution, because Europe and Korea, and this is true, my American friends, are far away from each other. But on the bright side, there's neutral ground. America. So usually what happens is when European and Korean players face, they play on the NA server to make it about even for both sides. Usually around 100 to 120 ping or so. Usually not too bad, but certainly not as good as playing on LAN. So, now do I think that decided that last game? No, of course not. Not especially considering the circumstances, but I'm not actually sure why I started on that topic, but here we are. Creator. The point also being that Clem will play in every single online tournament. We haven't, like, Cyril and Maru in the past, on their pedestal, would not play in many of the weekly cups. With a real argument being, they give away their strategies. They make it easier for other players to prepare against them. But I think Clem and Dark as well, another player, and Beyond, a lot of players, I don't know how much, well, nowadays, obviously, Cyril is still in the active Finnish military, so he has his excuses, but even before that, I'm not actually sure why Maru doesn't play the weekly cups, besides the fact he's a millionaire and doesn't care. Which is fair. I mean, so is Dark, though. But Maybe he just loves the game. Maru has said in GSL that he just wants to get paid. Like, for like 3-4 years in interviews, it's like, why are you here? Like, what's your motivation? He's like, I like winning, so I get money. Like, so that's a win. That's a plus there. We do have to win, Maru, which so far and lately has not been his strong suit. At least in the later rounds of things. We're hoping for GSL next year. It's unclear what it's going to be. They haven't announced that it's over, but they haven't announced that it's continuing. So, welcome to Purgatory. Population StarCraft 2, like, once every year for the last half a decade. Like and subscribe. We're trying to wake up the intern to fix the map pool and make it so units can shoot out the windows of medevacs, and we'll see if that goes through by the end of the year. Well, Widowmine drop. A bit more rare nowadays. Oh no, it finishes. And he retargets onto the Stalker. Oh no! The Widowmine, one probe taser away from making this a lot easier to deal with. But wait, there's more! Oh no! A Cyclone in the natural! And the Marines are... Oh my god. Well, here comes Clem again with a vengeance. Again, he gets hit and turns the game... Almost kills that Stalker. He kills 14 probes! There's Cloak Banshee. Is that a GG Banshee? Maybe. The Banshee might be spotted. He's actually trying to evade the watchtower here. I don't know if he will succeed. Oh, he did! He got out of watchtower range in time. There's an observer on the other side of the map. Oh no! He's gonna do it again with the same unit! The Cloak Banshee coming in as the final knife twist. Maybe not final, but... Oh, I guess technically Blink is done for Creator for his 5 Stalkers. 4 Stalkers. The Cloak Banshee comes in and Creator goes out. Well. And that brings us to game 3, just like that. Wow. I'm not sure how much of it is spite, though it is a strong motivator, believe me, me, the angry coach. No, not as much nowadays, but Clem, it feels like he ratchets it. He turns it up like 3 or 4 notches when he loses, like, well, when he loses it all, but when he loses like he did both against Shin and Creator so far. Just immediate. Oh, that's how it's gonna be, eh? Now we see post-youth, which one of these players has achieved, as well as many of you watching, but Clem, I think, not as much. But, game 3. Creator showing. He can pull one over on him, but can he repeat the process? 13, 14... Was it 14 probes to, like, a Cyclone and a casual drop? One racks expand. Using that, what are you staring at? That door. What is this moopy doing? Alright, what's it? Well. Creator. Adept on the way. Second gas all done. Be a factory back at home for Clem. Reaper gets in. Adept pre-shading. Gonna try to catch it on the way out. But Clem is forcing him to commit. Yeah. He forced him to commit to not shading out. And then plays Ring Around the Nexus. And then gets out for free. Spots the Reaper again. And he's gonna... Oh, wow. Wow, doesn't even get a hit. Clem knows exactly what he's dealing with. There's a Twilight on the way now. Looks like Blink yet again. Mixed bag so far. And Clem's not going to have nearly as much aggressive potential because he did not go for the double gas. That's usually what's the springboard for. Wow, he did actually hit the timing, but just not perfectly. The double gas opener for Terran. The double gas before expand, that is what Clem has been using as the crowbar to pry open the defenses. Getting the Cyclone, the medevac so early. So, Creator's going to have his blink probably around the time any sort of medevac can come across the map. Clem is more looking to just keep him busy and keep him anchored in his base, as opposed to ripping out his entire economy like last game. But we'll see. Hellion. Scouting Hellion. Poke and prawn. Widowmine's on the way. It's just gonna be a full-on Widowmine drop here. And by that I mean 2 Widowmines, which more than we've seen lately. Hellion scouting for the 3rd, trying to keep him busy as well, I think. And the longer he can tie up both Creator's units and his attention, the more likely it is this drop does damage. Though Creator clearly prepared for something like this, as he has the Stalkers already standing guard on the edge of the base. Engineering Bay following it up. And, well, Clem does a quick barracks push-up. Does it again. All right, get your reps in. Gonna switch on over to the tech lab. And the medevac made it all the way around. Widowmine gets in range. The sacrificial probe gets the one. The observer comes in a second later. That probe probably not happy about it, but not having any thoughts at all now. Charge. Immediately after Blank. Going for mass charge lot. Clem. Scan. Knocks out the observer. And then the Raven coming in. Meanwhile, a Hellion at the 3rd. And when he commits, will we see the medevac move in as well? Creator shuts down all the parts of this. 5 more gates on the way. He's going to have full 8-gate pressure, and he's got a Warp Prism in production as well. And that is the indicator that he wants to attack. And that observer waiting for its opportunity. To do what? Look at things? Yeah, it likes watching. That's my observer noise. Alright. Trademarked. You can't use it. More racks on the way. 3rd command center as well. But Clem has all his production coming online. He's got +1 attack. Is there even a forge for Creator? No. He's going for mass charge on it. Oh my god. Clem knew. The entire time he was aware. He put just Marines in vision range of the observer. Wow. The rest of his army, all the important parts, he kept out of range. So he was fully aware of what was happening there the whole time. And now look at this setup. Clem, I don't think this is unintentional. He set up a funnel for the charge lots. So that way they can still get in, but they can easily be gunned down one by one. A blocking pylon. Oh, so many charge lots here. Clem kind of panic picks up. Is that a siege tank? Yeah, drops it out now. Gonna jam it up against the command center, reduces surface area as much as possible. There's still the Widowmine drop in the back corner. Just lurking, loitering. Oh yeah, the Raven. Remember me? Targets the shield battery. Don't have much time left over after that, but still. Opens up an opportunity to get damage done. The Widowmine Creator, quick on the draw, takes out the mine, takes out the medevac. Well done. Clem, unable to find the damage, and he's got fourth base to contend with as well. But Clem already has his +1 done. Is there any splash damage for Creator? He's building a Colossus. And he's just got charge lots otherwise. Looking to take this down. The force fields, I'm not sure who this is helping more. But again, force fields of questionable veracity against Terran, who has all ranged units. And when you're fighting with some melee units, it's not clear whether... Oh, he may have given away the Warp Prism with that. Not quite. But the fourth base now under fire. More reinforcements on the way. Guns down, several more charge lots. Couple trying to make it into the natural. The Warp Prism in the back base. And there's not much back at home to defend. Vikings a bit late to deal with this directly. Knocking down some more of the force fields, creating quite a funnel for the charge lots. I need to unbind that key. Couple Widow Mines. The charge lots thinned out in the main. And the Widow Mines doing a number on them. On the front lines as well. That Nexus could easily be targeted, but wants to focus on the army. The Marauders take a few more volleys at it, and down it goes. Clem lost a few SCVs back at home, but he took out the fourth Nexus, a whole lot of charge lots, and he comes away with a 27 supply lead. Overall, Clem killed 5,100 minerals and 500 gas in the last minute or so. Creator about half that on all counts. Without the upgrades and without splash damage, that unit composition just does not stand up, nor charge in. Clem not intimidated. He knows the strengths of Bio and when to use them. The cannon also no match for the temporary turrets. A warp in is forced out. Now Creator has had a level up. Did he just shoot his own? Oh, he's a traitor in our midst. A changeling from the other series. It happens. All right. Gotta keep them on their toes. Extended thermal lance. Now completed. My extended thermal lance. Completed a long time ago. And the Vikings over the top. This positioning is so rough to deal with. You need to be out in front of it. Being behind the mineral line just makes life way more difficult. But Creator, thinking about maybe a base trade, drawing Clem over to the north side, but the Vikings knock out one of the Colossi. Charge lots streaming in. Another Colossus comes up. But Clem, a couple Immortals will help out a lot against that Marauder count if he's able to thin out the Marines. 22 probes dead. I think the Raven came back in for more. How many kills on the Raven? Only 4. Where did all those probes die? Were they all in that fight? Wow. Creator down to 46 probes. A pretty devastating economic hit. And now the Raven comes in again, just gonna target probes with the turret. Just keeps poking and poking and poking. Clem now has the gold base up and running. He's working on a planetary fortress. A Templar Archives and a Colossus in production. His Creator has correctly realized what he needs against this, but Clem's momentum is growing. I don't think he's going to offer up that sort of base trade opportunity again. A fleet of Vikings comes in. The Colossus barely going to get any hits off before it's sniped by the Vikings overhead. Guardian Shield will help out. Vikings hit the deck. Colossus spotted. Vikings back in the sky. Sentry is picked off. But the Immortals are holding the line. But Vikings looking to tilt the scales yet again. And Vikings are picked up into the medevac in one of the more hilarious exchanges. And the Ghosts in a vulnerable position. Creator pushes him back all the way. But look at the supply. The reinforcements keep coming out. Creator keeps the aggression on. If he can cut off the reinforcements, maybe he can grind his way back into this. But the economic hits just keep rolling in. That Raven has 10 kills now. Archon's on the way. And the +2 infantry weapons and armor upgrades are about to complete. Clem already has the army supply. And he's going to have the effectiveness now to leverage it. The Vikings looking for a target, but the creator not offering any. Yeah, there's one Colossus. He's working on +1 ship weapons as well. Marine sprints forward, spots no extra base. There's a Whittle mine blocking another expansion location. And Clem just doesn't want to get caught out with the splash damage closing in, but those ghosts are building energy again. Ship weapons, level 1 about to complete. Clem just EMPs the stalkers. He's got the ghosts mixed in like croutons of that army. 3-3 on the way now. That Raven's still at the back, building energy. And kiting back the charge lots. Pops the Archon, knocks out the War Prism. The Colossus falters as well. Another Archon. And look at the supply. Clem just grinding through the army. There's nothing left. GG. Creator will fall. And Clem will take yet another series. But we're not going to follow his journey any further today. But maybe tomorrow. Clem, I love the vengeance today. He lost 2 games, but quickly made up for them at the next one. So really reasserting dominance, I think. And hopefully you enjoyed that experience, because I certainly did. So at least that makes one of us. Either way, it'd be awesome if you have the means and motivation to check out Patreon or YouTube membership. But either way, liking and subscribing is still free. At least for now. But thank you for watching. I hope I made your day just a little bit better. If you haven't yet checked out the second channel, Winter Gaming TV, you can check out maybe a bit less intense games over there. But either way, I played some of the StarCraft 2 versus Warcraft 3 mod. You can find the VODs of that over on the second channel. But thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Good luck. Have fun. Stay chill.